Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago discussion video here on the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about some of the most hated and despised Ninjago seasons throughout the entirety of the community. Now I've been a part of this community for several years. I've been with Ninjago since day one and I've seen my fair share of criticisms dished out to every season under the sun, but these seasons are some of the ones that get, I think, the most hate out of all of them. Which again, I'm not saying I personally hate these seasons, but I do agree with some of the criticisms thrown towards the actual seasons themselves, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first one that we're going to be talking about here is Day of the Departed. Now I know what a lot of people are thinking, Day of the Departed is not actually a season, so why are we marking it as a season? Well, I mean, it's technically, I guess, part of Ninjago, and a lot of people just refer to it as a season, so for the purposes of this video, it's a season. And a lot of people don't like Day of the Departed, myself included. I'm not really a huge fan of it. I do think the concept is very cool, and I love the concept and the actual ideas behind it. The actual execution of the whole thing, though, is kind of lackluster to say the least. I mean, this kind of concept could have worked great as an actual full-on Ninjago season, but instead we just got a 45-minute TV special, so kind of lacking in there. Some of the characters are pretty off. I mean, a lot of the villains are kind of laughable to say the least, and overall I've seen Day of the Departed get its fair share of hate from several members in this community. Next up is Season 7, and I don't really hate Season 7 too much either. I mean, Season 7 is basically a hit-or-miss season. Hands of Time very much has some good stuff going on, but at the same time it has some not-so-good stuff happening as well, and again, it's very much hit-or-miss. Some of the choices made in this season are kind of questionable, but overall it certainly wasn't bad. Out of all the seasons on this list, this one probably gets the least amount of hate, honestly. A lot of people love Hands of Time, and I like a lot of aspects of it as well. It's definitely not my most despised Ninjago season out there, but it's probably one of the Ninjago seasons that gets a little bit too much hate. I don't feel like it deserves the amount of hate that it gets. Just some decisions made in this season are kind of questionable yet again. Next up, we have Season 10, March of the Oni. A lot of people really don't like this, and again, just like Season 7, I don't see why. I mean, I can understand why it might have been a little bit of an underwhelming end to the Oni and Dragon trilogy, especially considering how great Seasons 8 and 9 were. Season 10 doesn't really seem like it tried to be an actual conclusion, but I can understand why it actually did the things that it did. A lot of people just don't like it because of the short run times. Some of the character moments are a little strange, some of the dialogue is a little weird, and I've seen some complaints towards the editing as well, especially the made-for-TV edit of the actual thing itself, the actual TV movie. Definitely had a few weird editing choices in there that kind of bothered me as well, but for the most part, March of the Oni is very fun, at least to me personally. I definitely don't feel like it's a bad Ninjago season. If anything, it's just kind of an underwhelming ending and conclusion to the Oni and Dragon trilogy, which it probably shouldn't have been, but it unfortunately was. And lastly here we have Season 11, or at least the Fire chapter of Season 11. I've seen the Ice chapter get a lot more respect from Ninjago fans and a lot more, I guess, praise from viewers in general, but the Fire chapter, on the other hand, really doesn't deliver too much on that front. There's definitely some issues going on with the Fire chapter as it is, most notably the filler. A lot of people just don't like the filler episodes at all from the Fire chapter, and I would agree. Also, Asphira is also seen as a little bit of a laughable villain, all things considered. And overall, the Fire chapter really doesn't have that positive of a reputation. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some good things happening in the Fire chapter as well. It's just overall, it just kind of felt like a little bit of an underwhelming step, especially after the underwhelming step that was March of the Oni. We kind of needed something a little bit more, and the Fire chapter, I guess, really didn't deliver on that, but I still don't completely hate it. There's some good stuff going on yet again, but I've seen a lot of complaints about it from the community, and I have to agree with a lot of those complaints. So thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. Let me know down below in the comments what your least favorite Ninjago season is. And again, apologies for the overly negative video. I didn't really mean for it to be, I guess, too negative, and hopefully it didn't come off that way. But let me know down below in the comments what you thought about the video. With all that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including the Marvelous Jan. Thank you so much for pledging the $10 tier. As such, you'll receive a spoken shout out and a written shout out at the end of every video, plus additional early access content on the Patreon page from time to time. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.